folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris with One.Daily. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at a couple knives that they're not related to one another, other than they're going to be a couple I'm parting with, and so I wanted to talk about them a little bit because I've been meaning to and just hadn't had the chance. And one of which is a Valley Forge knife that is possibly a pre-Boker owning Valley Forge, and it's this little Swayback jack, and you see it in the video. But when you see it, tell me what you think, because it I mean, it would be a very rare knife, I think, if it were the pre-Boker, so like pre-1916. I think that is. It fits in a lot of ways, but you know, like sometimes you second guess yourself a little bit. So anyways, tell me what you guys think, because I'm putting the knife up on eBay, and as far as I know, it's what it seems to be. But if there's any Boker Valley Forge experts out there, get at me in the comments, you know, just because I don't want to put something up under the impression it is something it isn't. But yeah, so enjoy the video and tell me what you guys think. All right, take it easy. All right, first knife we're going to take a look at today is this Valley Forge Swayback jack. Isn't that a cool looking pattern, man? I just think that's neat looking. I love, I don't know, man. There's just something about the way that Swayback looks with that sheep foot on it. And we are rocking the Citrus bezel notch point from Red Eye Patriot over there. So yeah, so this Valley Forge, this guy is one that I am letting go. I bought it not that long ago, thinking I was going to get into this knife and I don't know, start collecting some Valley Forges. It would be a good collection, but like I just didn't get a chance to get into this, so it's one that's going. But I really want to cover it because it's such a cool little knife with the stag handles on it. And I looked up Valley Forge, trying to learn a little bit, and a lot of what I found was just kind of trying to be about Boker. However, this knife is I believe pre-Boker. So Valley Forge here, and this is in the Houston book here, 15th edition, I think. So Valley Forge began cutlery production in Newark, New Jersey in about 1892 and was acquired by Herman Boker and Company in 1916. The factory made knives under the name of both Boker USA and Valley Forge. Earliest knives were stamped Valley Forge Cutlery Co., Newark, New Jersey. Let's see if we can get a focus, and kinda. It's a little dark, huh? But those are the stamps that we've got there. Earliest knives were stamped Valley Forge, and knives dating from 1916 were stamped with the same name in both straight line and curved configurations. Those made during 1916 to 1950 period have the letter VF inside a circle on the rear tang. The company went out of business in 1950. One of the company's most desirable knives is a bone-handled utility-type knife with a plier that folds into the handle. Excellent condition knives of this type are valued. Okay, I don't have that knife. This is a different one. But see, there's no VF on the back of this knife, and I tried really hard to see if I can come up with any remnants of one. But I don't see it. And I mean, this is also a really old pattern. If you look at here, we've got in the Levin's guide, we've got the Swayback jack pattern here. I looked up Valley Forge here, and it's giving me the same 1892 to 1899. But when you go to the Swayback Jack page, what it says about it is small, markedly tapering curved jacks with rounded ends were sometimes called Swayback jacks, although the term swayback also referred to the swell center congress, a pin pattern. Swayback jacks were popular in the 19th century, but had pretty much gone out of production by 1910. So that, that is 1916 is when Boker took over Valley Forge. And so this is also a small knife. This is like 3 3/8, I think. I don't have my tape measure handy, but I believe this knife has been cleaned because, you can see that blade is in spectacularly clean, good condition, but has remnants of the pitting up here and on the back. Driving home that this is probably a pretty early knife, but the pins are they're peened but by hand probably, but it looks like they're done with a hammer different than what would have been on an original peen from that time. But if you had a car from 1900, it would most likely be worked on, and that's the way I look at a lot of these knives that have been cleaned. If they've been done well, then it's like maintenance on a car in my book. I understand that having been apart hurts the value, but I don't know, maybe it needed to be cleaned to be saved, because it turned into a fantastic knife. I mean, the half stop on this and the snap is like really, really good. And that back spring just meets up with that spring amazingly. It's got the stag handles on it. Just a very, very cool knife. I really am kind of kicking myself for letting something like this go, because it's just such a cool swayback jack, And swayback jacks they're not really made. I know that Tony Bowes kind of reintroduced one with case, but personally I think missed the mark of this one, but that's just my personal opinion. I know that they are well loved, but tell your mama, tell your crush, Richter Knives likes himself a swayback jack in the form of 47 GEC here, and check out them teeners, son. Let's take a swig of the Lord's drink. Here's what we got here in LA, this lame shit. That's good. Anyway, it took me a while to that was lame, but it took me a while to realize I bought this knife specifically because I saw it on Richter Knives. Man, that's just like, he sold this knife to me. And I didn't realize until I got his sticker that it's also the knife on his logo. But this is a swayback jack, and it's a single blade version, obviously, with a Warncliffe. I really like this knife. I've carried it quite a bit, but it hasn't been in my pocket for a while, to tell you the truth. And then Case made a swayback jack in the form of the Loom Fixer, and I think maybe they had another swayback jack, and it was like a navy type knife with a can opener. I forget. It's like a super uber rare old pattern if that's the case. But the Loom Fixer is a swayback jack. And these knives are both much, much bigger than traditional swayback jacks used to be back in the day. But this is just a really cool old relic of a knife that I, wish I wasn't giving it up, but got to make some choices like I've been talking about recently. And then I have another knife I want to show that's totally unrelated. But this is a Griffin, and it's just a cool old jackknife. And I believe this one has been in as well, because those pins are, look to me to be hand peened, but maybe by someone, maybe not too. I don't know. The one on the back is a little less convincing. This could be something that someone just tightened up and then sanded over. I don't know. I'm trying to use my spidey skills on this guy to determine what the deal is, but it has really, really, really cool bone on this guy. Both sides of bone is just really pretty. There's a little tiny handle pin crack. And this is another knife that is going up on the bay, unfortunately, but I want to share about it. Look at those blades, man. They are in really, really good shape. It looks, maybe they have been reshaped at the end there, right? I don't know. Like, they're fairly pointy, but they're very, very full. If you look at them in the well, they're like, that's a very, very full main blade. And this knife just has the coolest stamps. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them. But what it says is Griffin, you can't see it here, Griffin Carbomagnetic XX, Worcester, Massachusetts. And that main blade is stamped front and back. On the back, it says Griffin XX, and I think that's where it says Worcester, Massachusetts. So stamp on front and back of that. And then, of course, any vintage knife that's any good has stamps on both blades. If you see stamps not on both blades, aside from case, something's up. And this one says Griffin Carbomagnetic as well. And then it also has a pattern number on the back. So both blades are essentially stamped front and back, which just that point alone, I like never ever see. But this is a really cool little jackknife, the same size as a case, 60-35 and a half. But this guy obviously has a spear point. Really, really neat knife. And I looked up Griffin, and it was kind of harder to find information. And where did I do with it? Sorry, guys. I thought I had marked it in here, but give me 1 second. Okay, Griffin Cutlery Works. First, it says A.L. Silberstein and Company, New York, USA, Germany, wholesaler and manufacturer, 1893 to present. But underneath, it has the Griffin XX Carbomagnetic Factory, Bridgeport, Connecticut, also Worcester, Massachusetts. And it was made, this one is the Worcester, oh man, I was missing the whole time, sorry. Worcester, Massachusetts, 1918 to 1921. And so I also looked it up in just trying to find more information in the Goins Encyclopedia here. And let's see if I can get a better. So what it says here is that the Griffin Cutlery Works, okay, Griffin XX, Bridgeport, Connecticut. The main offices of the Griffin Cutlery Works have always been in New York City. The factory in Worcester, Massachusetts operated for a short time between 1919 and 1921. They were located at 5 Cypress Street and made some razors and knives. Many of their knives were contract knives and were made by other manufacturers. In 1927, Albert L. Silberstein retired, leaving his son Alfred L. Silberstein sole owner. Okay, so that seems to like suggest that it was a contract knife, although I'm a little conflicted because that was a factory in Worcester, Massachusetts from what says 1918 or 1919 to 1921, which would be right immediately after World War one, right? Kind of cool. But neat old knife. Not sure if it's, a contracted knife or not. That bone, I don't know what vibes it's giving me, or what company this is giving me vibes on. I don't know. But anyway, very, very cool old knife. And I just wanted to share these with you guys. This thing has monster snap. It's just like got really heavy snap. And a beautiful little treasure of a knife. So I just wanted to kind of share those with you guys today. I don't have any great insight on this particular guy, but hopefully Richter will forgive me for I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, tell me what you guys think of these knives. Do you have any Swayback jacks? Anybody have any Griffins? I know you guys are gonna probably talk about the case loom fixer more than anything else, because that's what happens when there's a case knife around. Okay, guys, if you hear drums, I live across the street from a school, and LA is noisy. One day I'm complaining about traffic noise or whatever, and it's not complaints, it's actually kind of cool. But I've got some tribal drums back there for my soundtrack for today. All right, guys, tell me what you think of these knives, and any experience, any knowledge you can drop, let me know. All right, to that point.